y'all, welcome back to my channel. So in this particular video, I'm just basically going to be telling you guys my pros and cons and just my general thoughts on a wash and go. Let's get right into the video. My first time doing a wash and go, if you haven't already seen that video, don't forget to check it out. I'll insert it in the description box so you can just go right to it. My natural hair fam, please let a girl know who made this phrase up, wash and go. Because after you wash, you ain't going nowhere. We can't leave the house with our hair wet and we just shake it and then it's done. It doesn't work that way. So who made up the term wash and go? Because whoever did, don't know what they were thinking. Now, let's start with the pros. Let's start with the positives first, okay? Pro number one, defined curls is gonna be on point, I guarantee, okay? Especially if you're using the right kind of product, or I shouldn't say that, I probably shouldn't say the right kind of product. The product that works well for you, because obviously everybody's curls are different and porosity is different. So what works for one person is not gonna work for the next. So once you figure out that product that works well for your curls gonna be on point, they're gonna be defined, boom bam pow, that's it, that's all. Pro number two, your hair is getting a little extra more TLC. At least I found myself doing that, because you want to take your time with the wash and go. And some of my other styles, I feel, it's not that I don't put TLC into them, but I'm a mom. Sometimes I need to do something super quick and efficient because I got twins to look after, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes some of these hairstyles just require a little too much, okay? And with the wash and go, I found myself really like taking my time, because I knew if I did it, them curls and the hair, the result, I knew the result was not about to be looking how I was supposed to be looking. Pro number two, at least for me, is I gave my hair a little bit more TLC with doing the wash and go. Pro number three, it's a long lasting hairstyle, especially if you take care of it the way you should be taking care of it, making sure you're putting it in like a high pineapple at night and, you know, doing the necessary things you need to do in order to preserve the wash and go, okay? Because you can't just sleep on her at night, because you gotta preserve her, just like any other hairstyle. But this one is like, you gotta preserve her in a particular way. So for me, I feel as though it lasts longer as far as like a hairstyle, okay? Especially if you take care of her the way you're supposed to. You feel me? Let's get into these cons, okay? I started off with the pros. Let's flow into these cons. Okay, so con number one for me is it is extremely time consuming. I don't know who came up with this term wash and go, because that's not what it's giving. It's not giving you a wash and a go. Like, you're not about to just wash your hair and be on your way. We dealing with natural hair, and y'all already know any style we do is going to be time consuming, especially if we want it to look a certain way. So yeah, there's a few different ways you can do a wash and go, and depending on which one you do, it's going to be a little bit more time consuming than the other. The only hairstyle I feel like that's not super time consuming is a high puff. You brush her and you on your way, you lay your edges down, that's it, that's all, okay? That's probably the only hairstyle I could say that's more or less time consuming hairstyles, is like a high puff style. I mean, I don't know, maybe my experience probably different than some others. Maybe some other people don't see it that way, depending on probably your curl type, but my hair is type 4, okay? These curls is type 4, B, C-ish. My wash and go, it took a while. I'm gonna just tell you that. It took me a while with all the steps, okay? That's just what it is. Another con that I experienced with doing the wash and go is, if you're a mom, I wouldn't necessarily recommend, then again, this is my experience, okay? I would not recommend a wash and go if you on like a time schedule, because this was definitely one of my longer natural hairstyles that I've achieved. Maybe because it was one of my first times attempting it, so I was trying to make sure it was really like perfect. For me as a mom, if you're on a schedule and you got like young toddlers that's not necessarily in school yet and stuff like that, and they all over the place, child, do the wash and go another day when they somewhere else, but not around, okay? Because the wash and go is just, I feel like it's not a hairstyle necessarily for busy moms. Maybe I should say that. Another con I experienced, so this was probably my fault. It could be a con or not, I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think about this one. The night I did the wash and go, I wasn't able to have it like fully dry. It was later at night. had to put the babies to bed, whatever. I went with my diffuser and I went to dry it, and the next morning, you know, I put her in the pineapple, everything, but she was still damp. Now we all know you should never really go to sleep with damp hair, especially if it's not like sectioned off, because what's gonna happen? She's gonna turn into like a matted puff. That's what's going on here. My hair, since it's like, it's a little tangled in there because of how I went to bed the first night I did it. Now this here is giving, you know, some days later, but the center, you feel what I'm saying? So in the future, I will not do that because it's a no ma'am for me. Wash and go, you gotta kind of plan it out, because for my hair, you have to do it on dripping wet hair. You cannot do no wash and go on dry hair like some of these other styles. You have to like make sure your hair is saturated. I did mine in the shower. So you have to make sure your hair is really saturated with water, so the water and the product are able to define your curls as it's supposed to do. And if you're doing it like on dry hair, it's gonna be a little bit more challenging to achieve that wash and go look that you're going for. You know what I did find easy when doing it though? I don't know if you would put that in a pro or con section, because it's honestly a pro on one sense, because it lessens the amount of time that it would probably take you to even achieve it if you're doing it section by section. To me, I feel like that's probably the best way to do a wash and go, is to section your hair off in multiple sections, not just 4, but make little, you know, you can like start with 4 and then do some subsections within the 4. You feel what I'm saying? It's not a pro or a con, it's just something. If you plan on achieving a wash and go, do it in sections to make it a more efficient process and hairstyle. So yeah, this was a pretty quick video on pros and cons that I encountered when I did a wash and go, and just kind of let you know my little experience completely achieving it for the first time, because like I said before, I've done like probably less than half my head and I was like, can't do this is just too much. If you enjoyed this video, or even if you didn't enjoy it, you know, say that in the comments. Still engagement at the end of the day, okay? And if you've been enjoying my content so far, feel free to sub, you know, so you can always catch all this energy that I'm giving you, okay? So with that being said, until my next video, peace.